Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. The term untracked cash wages was used to describe some missing $22 million from a program in St. Kitts and Nevis under the last government. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Friday, 22nd December 2023, brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. Details when we return.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence Drew, described the so-called peace program set up under the former Team Unity government as a corrupt program, although the initial intentions were good. Speaking in the National Assembly sitting of the 19th December 2023, Dr. Drew spoke of an itemized category called Untracked Cash Wages of the program. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
According to Prime Minister Drew, who is also the Minister of National Security, the peace program was being corruptly misused.
Let me pull our country's attention and this honourable House's attention to use of funds, a part here called Untracked Cash Wages. Untracked. Nobody knows where this money has gone. Untracked. Cannot be traced, Madam Speaker. Down a dark hole. Disappear. Poof. He gone. That amount, Madam Speaker, $22,244,810. Does the member from number 5 know about this money? He said he knows about the program. Does he know about the $22,244,810? Gone down a dark hole. Poof, he gone. Let me say it in fancy terms, Madam Speaker. Untracked cash wages. Madam Speaker, this is the program that he's talking about, that he knows everything about. He himself has said it. The member from number 7 has also said it. This is what is happening. This was used to embezzle money, hide money, fill the pockets of politicians and their cronies, Madam Speaker. This objective wasn't to bring a long-lasting peace and to rehabilitate anybody. Had persons been rehabilitated, you think the condition could have researched? Never. That is what the program was used for, and that is why we are saying the government has to get back its $22 million plus, and we know more is missing, Madam Speaker. And then coming to tell the country about this program. This program was setting us up to destroy the fabric of our society. I remember talking to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and he said to me, PM, don't go down that road. He said, do not go down that road. Don't do it. I'm speaking from Jamaica's experience. Warn me. And that is why, Madam Speaker, we are saying that this is not the answer. This has been a corrupted system that embezzled money, robbed the country of tens of millions of dollars. And had the money been really spent in a legitimate program to rehabilitate people, people would have been rehabilitated.
Prime Minister expressed the view that the program would have been detrimental to the country if continued. He announced in Parliament that the program's replacement, Elevate, will be launched on Thursday, 21st December 2023. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
In the meantime, Dr. Drew, Minister of Finance, disclosed several new initiatives when he presented the 2024 budget address in the National Assembly sitting of 13th December 2023, as many also awaited information on an end-of-year extra payment Glenn Bart again of SKN Newsline tells us more.
In essence, the bonus equates to a half a salary. This is how the Minister of Finance explained it in Parliament.
But we don't want to just leave the bonus, of course, at this time when the economy has not fully recovered, to just the civil servants. We also want to give a bonus to those who are not in the civil service. Our workers who contribute, who work, and because we know that the economy is not fully recovered, we are going to give them a bonus as well. And so, how we calculated it for our civil servants, we wanted to give an increase which will see that accumulation over time when you calculate it. And presently, for the Christmas, Madam Speaker, we also want to give them that other half of the contribution. So they will get a bonus and an increase. And to say that this is a Christmas bonus, Madam Speaker, and this bonus will be paid on the 21st day of December 2022. 2023, sorry. Yeah? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So I would say that the workers, therefore, will get a bonus for the Christmas. So half of it is, of course, Christmas bonus will be, one, they have gotten the increase, and then secondly, they will get a 50% at this time on the next paycheck.
As of January 2024, the Finance Minister indicated that civil servants also will receive an 8% salary increase. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Police Commissioner of the Bahamas addresses a surge in unlicensed and uninsured drivers. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernandez says prevention will be a big part of crime plan. More details in this ZNS News report.
Prevention is going to be a big part of my policing plan in all areas of crime, including the traffic management on the streets.
As it relates to traffic management in the Northern Bahamas, Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez says they will be more aggressive, and here is why.
We have seen the rise of traffic fatalities not only in Grand Bahama, but on the various family islands.
The aim is to address a common factor resulting in death on the streets, and that is
speed. Based on the investigations, I believe that we need to be more aggressive out there. Not only the educational part of it, but a lot of road checks and to ensure that the motorists adhere to the laws. A lot of them, too, that we found that it was drinking and driving, and that caused the accident, and innocent people are being killed.
Another focus of concern revolves around individuals operating vehicles without the requisite licenses and insurance, presenting a significant hazard not only to themselves, but also to fellow road users.
There are too many vehicles as well that is on our street that is being driven not insured. And they are involved in accident, and the other parties can't even get or get compensated for the damage to their vehicles or even claim.
He calls for collaboration.
We have to work together as a team, and I'm talking about the public, to ensure that you be in accordance with the law of the land.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Romiko Knowles.
The president of the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, LAT, Senior Counsel Lynette Sibaran Sweet, is expecting efficiency in the judicial process since Parliament has done away with the preliminary inquiry procedure at the Magistrates' Court. More in this TTT News story compiled by Vivian Bowen.
A legal proceeding that has been considered outdated since the 1960s by then Chief Justice Sir Hugh Wooding has finally been abolished. That is the message put forward by the head of the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, or LAT, Lynette Seabaran-Sweet, Senior Counsel, when she referred to the proclamation of the Administration of Justice Indictable Proceedings Amendment, or AJIPA, and the doing away of the preliminary inquiry from the court system. Speaking at her office on Woodford Street, Port of Spain, Ms. Seabaran-Sweet says initially there would have been resistance in some quarters to the change, but she points out that there was and still is a great deal of preparation, consultation, training, and changes to the judicial system that have been facilitated by the Attorney General's office.
There was a significant innovation where the courts, the term district judge has replaced the term magistrate. The magisterial districts have been reorganized, and most importantly, you now have masters on the criminal side to deal with all of the preliminary preparatory work.
The LAT president notes one change that comes along with the AJIPA legislation.
We call it just AJIPA. Is that evidence can now be presented in court digitally. Prior to the proclamation of this act, actual physical exhibits, whether it be drugs, whether it be guns, whatever was the subject matter of the crime, had to actually be kept in the custody of the police and then had to be physically presented in court.
She expanded on the new arrangement.
But that has now been done away with because photographs and video can now be taken, and so all this whole question of the chain of custody and the disappearance of physical evidence has been eliminated.
Ms. Seabaran-Sweet says that the AJIPA system would also lessen the stress on witnesses.
Because you can well imagine that if a matter is pending in court 7 years, 8 years, witnesses go away, they die, they become unwilling, they lose interest, and more importantly, they forget.
However, she notes that because there are now 3 ways for an indictable offense to start, more strain would be put on the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, projects $283.4 billion in currency will be in circulation by the end of this month. Javon Keys of TVJ Business Day reports.
The Bank of Jamaica is projecting that for December 2023, currency issued by the bank will increase by $29.7 billion. If achieved, the $283.4 billion would be 11.7% higher than the $253.7 billion issued by the central bank as of November this year. Now, the BOJ says this projected growth represents a year-over-year increase in currency issue of 21.2%. Now, the central bank says the projected growth is consistent with higher cash demand for the calendar year to date and reflects continued growth in both real gross domestic product, GDP, and the prices of goods and services. Developing countries are now faced with limited financing options. The World Bank says this is exacerbated by higher debt servicing costs. The bank says in 2022, new external loan commitments to public and publicly guaranteed entities in these countries dropped by 23%, reaching $371 billion. This was the lowest level in a decade. Now, private creditors largely stayed away from lending to developing countries, receiving $185 billion more in principal repayments than they disbursed in loans. That marked the first time since 2015 that private creditors had received more funds than they put into developing countries. Now, new bonds issued by all developing countries in international markets dropped by more than half from 2021 to 2022, and issuances by low-income countries fell by more than 3/4.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. reassurance we give. It's so clear to see peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family, yes we do, at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.